Hi, teammates. I broke my phone, so it's just been dropped too many times, and I can't go back on the phone. The back button is all busted, so I'm gonna use the iPad tonight and see how this works. But I'm taking it kind of as a sign as well. You know, we're nearing that time of coming to a close with it also, and that's good. For what we're doing. I mean, I don't want to close the information, but I think that we got to bring it to an ending that's fitting. So, Henhenet is who we're looking at today, Egyptian consort of Pharaoh, and I typed in double maze with waves, okay? Because that's what her hieroglyphs are. And then a mound as well. Now the mound represents Malcolm X because you've got the coconut throne that's a part of that throne, and Malcolm X represents the whole forced to stand ordeal. And we've touched on that before, but I'm going to explain it with the JP analysis, because in the first Jurassic Park, Malcolm yells to Grant, he says, get the kids. And then Malcolm's done the rest of the movie, he hurts his leg. Okay, so basically what Spielberg was saying in the first film is he's gonna be, the character that hurts his leg is set. Okay, he's not the God set, he's set to be that character, and no one can steal that from him. Okay, it's that it mentioned there is the real it that can't be stolen or anything. He's the prototype because it's the Ungamar and the family of Bedingfield that goes back to the Garden of Eden. Remember, my Frenchman that I met in a dark place at KCPC, he said that it goes back to the Garden of Eden. It's the sons of Eve and the sons of Adam. Okay, and it's the French versus the English. Okay, that's what he said, and it was all tied in with the motorcycle gangs, and that's why you see this El Camino and the Mayans and all that now, because it's like they're taunting the Frenchmen, saying you'll never get your inheritance, sort of thing, and they're trying to make me force me to be English. But the thing is that my Willie is opposite of the English. It's a Magaran, it's like my and that's my gravity. So you can see how I'm like a mixture of both, because I've got that Levasseur blood, and the Ungamar they were the Vikings. The French is more like probably southern France, going back to Abu Dhair and all that stuff. It's like the ones who get the stuff done in reality versus the ones who do it symbolically. Okay, and that's why me stealing all the rings and getting the spear was a big deal, and the English are trying to bank on that. That's why they elected Trump, because they're like, well, look at this it guy. He doesn't even know who he is, but look what he did. Let's bring him through and set him up to start our new age with the 50-50. So, but then in the second Jurassic Park, he has a flood against him. Kelly, his daughter, his black daughter, that represents the Eve figure coming into his life with all right after Paul Walker died. It's all the spirit and the smoke symbolism, the defrosting. Okay, so then that's in play. And then also Sarah, his girlfriend in the movie, who represents like the mother figure as well, and he has to save her from the window and all that, representing the Pergamus pit. Okay, so they kind of go far a little bit with it with that Jurassic Park Lost World, and that's probably why that's my favorite movie. But, and don't go into the long grass and all that. That all represents the Area 51, the actual pit of the Christian character, Christian Clark, and that's what I stole, and that was because of the spear, but that was probably supposed to be done symbolically, but I didn't even ever read Isaiah 51 until I was in the pit after the spear. Okay, and I made a mistake on my last video. I said that I was at Eastern State whenever Jenner did all that women's stuff, but it was actually Western State. I went to both Eastern and Western State, so that's just a correction. But okay, so the double maze with waves equals all these. You get 8656 divided by 51E. Now this E is as Eve, the Dorothy Sebastian, the stealer, okay? And you get 16807.8. So I went to, I'll show you this. I went to 1681 and got Elumas, acts13:8. Elumas, acts13:8. So, and then 161 or 1681 Dibba as that which glides stealthily. So whenever I think of that, I always go back to what I was shown first. And that's what you got to do with these things. What were you shown first and what made an impression? And like I would always watch Tomorrow Never Dies with my cousin Z, and we would play around with toy guns and all that, and it was just but I even then I felt the intensity of the movie even when I was a kid watching it, and it was one of my favorite movies then, and I would watch it all the time. But Gott's Auto is Richard Stamper, okay? Now they try to change who gets the work symbiote or CAF 101 form, and that's the Gott's Auto, okay? This says Brock the English Air Exile gets formed from Eric Tavares. Okay, so Eric has a bow for the 6, always keeping faith, but they wanted me to get his. They wanted to switch it up. So notice how there's a lot of characters on the board. It's not just me and Joust 92 or whoever. It's a lot of characters. So, and that's how it should be. I'm getting signs that like Pitchagrew is the idle shepherd and stuff like that. Like they all have their own form, and it's every character is set apart. The ones that may be the same are like the two little horns. They may be the same. And Rick Ross touches on that. But Henhenet, now this with this Richard Stamper is if I stayed at SCAD and got the ART. Now with Henhenet, Natalie Portman, okay, if you look at Henhenet, Nat a Leaper T Man. Now this is T Peace. It's as T without kids. That's the T Peace, reference to death during birth. Okay, so and this is combined with I am the individual medley Pectus carinatum. Okay, would be those two forms to be a certain Hulk figure of yourself is what that's saying. So, and this is Padme, and the Leaper is Hulk from the Banner film, base in the desert, be Ace without word, Elumas, okay? Now, that's Elumas, but now get this, Ace gets rid of Sharon Stone, throws her out of house, okay? Throws her out of house, Eric Tavares' 6 bowl, okay? So you can see that. and that's Ace Rothstein in Casino Film. All right, then Stay MP Ear is the Richard Stamper. Okay, Stay MP Ear. Too Much Swimmer's Ear, Letterman says to Lochte, and Hair as Blade Runner, Blade Runner is the 2016. So you can see how they tried again for the Brahma Bull starting in 2016, and that's why Lochte had the hair of Blade Runner when he went to the Rio Olympics. And that was a big joke that no one got, was the Too Much Swimmer's Ear, because they're referencing back to me, they're referencing back to the English. It's all English tied. Letterman must have been paid off by English, or he did the BBC symbolism or something, But get this. Jack Nicholson is Mighty Cupid. He did the reverse AI Beck and didn't have Predator kick gun to back it up. Anger management film shows how he came to balance with his fears. Okay. Now get this. Jim Carrey as Joel Barish, B-A-R, R as Ryan Lochte, is H. Okay. Now that's Eternal Sunshine of a Spotless Mind. And this is this character here, this Elumas and Henhenet that we're going over. No dog mind, okay. Doom mindset, easily inflicted. Okay, doom mindset, easily inflicted. So that's what I see. I've gotten over that, but I see this symbolism, and that stood out to me when I was looking at this tonight, because I thought, that's me, it's a tough thing to explain, but it's like I'm into the rapture and everything. I'm into all the intel on the internet, the truth seeking, but there's a certain doom there, and that's brought on by the Elumas, or Elumas was a prototype for what I suffer from. And that's what his symbolism shows, but we're going over it. So, eternal, okay, eternal sunshine, okay, eternal. Trying to make Eve the Gondel figure is big in the comedies, because to lose hair is madness. Madness is laughter, according to Solomon. So, what this is, whenever I saw the Eve figure as the seductive figure, was whenever I was high and I was praying to Jesus out loud, aloud, and everything was crazy, and there was a mannequin, and in the back of the car, she was working as a hair salonist, and I noticed that the hair was made to look like my fading hair. And this was a real complex ordeal, because I thought, how could this be perfected like this to be exactly like my imperfection? And it frightened me. And it was so spot on, it was crazy. It was exactly the way that I feared that it looked, but it was perfect. So I'm telling you, perfect. And the way it was done, it was like a professional artist had done it. And then, of course, when I wasn't lit the next day, it looked just like normal, and we made up and everything. But But that's a big deal that comes up in the symbolism. So you'll see that. Padme raised by the Batman Blade and Paul Walker. Those are her parents on the Wikipedia. James Donald Hall, Blade, okay, that's who he is. May 7th, 1947 was Blade's birth. And if you go to Harry Gordon Selfridge, May 8th, 1947, death, okay? And he's as the Earl of Oxford Street. Now this represents the oxen of Canaan, which is Camudi, okay? And Jack Nicholson, Ford Street. My friend Ford used to live on Griffith Avenue in Owensboro, which is like the wealthier part of town, you could say. But there's new sections now that are like becoming like suburbs sort of deal. So it's kind of mixed in there, but you can break down Griffith as you will, but and I believe he moved from there, if I'm not mistaken, but it's that the morning of the red is what that is. It's like, as Grox explains, the ones that go for the morning star, the works, or the ones that are moving up in the matrix, to become the archangels, the ones at the wedding feast that judge. Those are this character is a red of that. He's as Edom of that. So you can see that symbolism. And okay, so I think that's all I got. All right, so I just wanted to show how they've been switching things up. And I'm not saying that I am the Elumas, but this symbolism shows up, okay? And he could be a prototype for the mist and the darkness that was laid upon me whenever I went through the defrosting process, and even before that with just not being a flipper, basically, and being of Beetlejuice ending, and Blade, the real Blade who went against the Pichagru figure. You know what I'm saying? He's about Hobbit time laughter, is what that is. Like, he's not flipping. He doesn't have a dog in the race, and that's my symbolism, or was my symbolism. Now it's all this. Let's just show everything that we know, and that's what I'm trying to do. But I need an outside perspective to put together who I am. I may be some sort of collective, and that may be all I am, is a collective, and I'm okay with that. We're past the point of saying, okay, it's Elumas. It's Elumas and it's this Henhenet. No, the Henhenet represents the birth, the death during the birth. Okay, it represents that doom. It's like a 50-50 of faith and hope. It's like a 50-50 of hope and Matrix doom is what that is. It's a 50-50 because they happen at the same time. You have life and you have death coming in and leaving the world at the same time. So that's what that Henhenet is. And then, of course, you've got Anakin, who is Paul Walker, and you've got him saying, no, I'm not going to put on the dress and show all this Henhenet symbolism because I know how you guys are going to go with it. I know how you're going to lead me down that road. You see, and he didn't want to be Richard Stamper. He didn't want to be Letterman. You see what I'm saying? He stood up. So, Joe Pesci stood up. The Kevin J. O'Connor is standing. This is no joke. I don't treat this as a joke. And just look at this information, take from it what you will, and thank you.